Hello everybody. In this video we're going to be discussing the Equinox series threshold function. So if you have the Minelab Equinox 600, 700, 800 or the 900 like I have here, this is going to work for you. So stay tuned. Okay, in this video we're going to be going outside here in just a little bit so I can demonstrate the threshold, how it reacts to certain targets, how to set up your threshold so you can hear targets that a lot of times you wouldn't normally hear. This is going to be especially good for those of you who have the Equinox and want to go out there metal detecting for gold nuggets. It will also work for gold jewelry, relics, coins. It's just your preference whether you want to use the threshold or not, but this is an added tool to help you hear those targets that you may not otherwise hear. We'll get started here, show you how to set it up, and then we'll head outside and see what we can do. Okay, we're outside now, and this is going to be a little bit challenging. I'm holding a cell phone with a chest mount. So if it's a little bit wobbly, please forgive me. I'm going to try to make this as smooth as I can. But let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to power on the Equinox. It's the press of the button up there. So I've got my volume turned down because I was in the house there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run over to the volume setting there. And I'm going to increase that so you guys can hear what's going on. Okay, I've got that at 25. So next thing we're going to do is the threshold level is right here in the center on your Equinox. So you're going to go ahead and use your gear icon, that's your settings icon, head over to threshold. Right now it's set at 9. This goes from 0 to 25. Let's see, let me make sure I'm correct on that. Yes, I am. So as you can hear that noise there, that is threshold. That is just a constant hum that you hear while you're detecting. Now what you want to do is you want to set this up to a level that you can just audibly hear, something that you can hear for different variations in that tone, because the threshold is meant to give you a break. It nulls out when it goes over a target, and that's indicating that there is a detectable target below the coil. While you're detecting, if you are detecting with the threshold on and you hear a lull or a variation in the threshold, that means there is a target there that you can investigate if you want to. Again, if you are hunting for gold, this is something in the gold mode you are going to, let me just go over there here real quick. Whoops, sorry about that. I was going to the wrong. Okay, we're going to go over to gold mode here. We're just going to put it in gold 1. As you can hear, there is already a threshold in place. Okay, that is something that is with the gold mode. You cannot remove the threshold in gold mode. That is going to be there. So when you pass over a piece of gold, you're going to hear a variation, and that's what you're looking for. If you hear a variation in your threshold while you're detecting for gold, it very well could be a very small piece of gold that you want to investigate. That's what it's meant for. So that's a very handy tool. It's going to be in gold 1 and gold 2. So I'm just going to go back out of this. Sorry about that. So let's say we're in park 1 and I've got my threshold going there. Let me get back into it here. So I'm at threshold. I want that volume just audible. I'm going to turn it up a little bit so you guys can hear it. All right, I'll try to get you guys got a reflection there, I know. So while you're hunting in threshold, you will still hear, whether you pass over a coin, it's going to give you the signals just the same as you would otherwise. But signals that you may not hear will come up with the threshold, with that break in the threshold. So we're going to demonstrate that by passing it over a couple of targets here in just a second. One thing I do want to show you is for those of you who have tone deafness, you can also change the sound of the threshold. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, while we're in the threshold level setting there, we're going to hold down, I believe it's a 3-second hold for the advanced setting on the settings knob here. Okay, so I've got it a little line there just above where it says threshold level. There's a little line under the speaker there showing me that I'm in the advanced option. So now I can increase the sound of the tone, or the pitch I mean, to where I want it. And this will also go to 25. So wherever your preference is, wherever you hear the best, you're going to want to set that for what you hear best. I'm going to go back out of just another long hold on the gear button, takes me back out to the basic setting. So let's go ahead and put a target on the ground and see how this threshold reacts. Okay, I've thrown a little iron toy pistol down on the ground that I found last year, kind of a neat old pistol. And I've got my let me turn the volume up on my threshold a little bit. I want to make sure you guys hear this. So, all right, so we're just going to go over this pistol, and I want you to listen to how the threshold reacts. You can hear how it's breaking up. That's what the threshold does. When you hear it break up or any variance in that threshold, that means there's a detectable target there. So I'm still picking up a little bit of signal. There's probably other irons and stuff in there, or not irons, but other materials in there as well. But let's just take a look here. That's what you're listening for. So you could be detecting along for gold, and all of a sudden you hear that break in the threshold. Not necessarily the beeps that you're hearing, but the breaks in the threshold. Let me throw down another target. See, right there's a natural. There's a target right there. Naturally. This is just here in my yard. So that's a great example of what the threshold does right there. So if I was to dig that down, who knows what that might be. I'm not going to dig it right now, but another piece of iron there. You can hear that breaking up. So if I put a quarter down there, okay, I just threw a quarter down there, you're still going to hear your signals just the way that you would otherwise. So that's just another way to hear your targets, you guys, helping you identify that there's something down there to dig. So let's try a piece of gold. Okay, I've got a nice little piece of gold right here in a capsule. I'm going to set this on the ground. I've found a spot here that's going to work. Clean area. I'm just going to set that gold right there. You can see that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this on over to, I'm going to put it on, we'll go to gold 2 there, I think. So again, I want to make sure that you guys hear this. You don't want your audio too high when you're doing this. You just want it audible. But I want you guys to be able to hear this while I'm doing this. So you hear that, you guys? That's a beautiful sound right there. You could just hear the break in the threshold. And then when you get down to it, you can start to hear the signal of that gold nugget. See, I've got the sensitivity down quite a bit right now too, so I'll tell you what, let me go back to threshold. I'm gonna turn that down just a hair. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna turn my sensitivity up just a little bit. You can really hear that gold when you get down on it there. But your threshold is what you're listening for. Sometimes it's just a real faint difference there that you hear. But when you hear that faint difference, that's when you want to scrape the top off just a little bit. And when you scrape the top off and get closer to the target, you're going to get a little bit of a louder variance until you get right down to the target, and then you're going to start hearing the signal. Beautiful sound. So when you get your Equinox, whether it be the 6, 7, 8, or 900, the default for the threshold level is going to be 0. That is the way it comes, so you have the option to keep that at 0 if you don't want to hear that hum, if you don't want any threshold whatsoever. That's up to you until you get to the gold modes. Once you get into gold 1 and gold 2, that is not an option anymore. You will naturally have the threshold set. You can adjust the threshold level to be what you need it to be if you're hunting for gold or just in the gold modes. So you guys, this is just another tool to help you out. I hope that my explanation helped you out. If you have any questions, be sure to get a hold of me. You can email me at sodbustersmetaldetecting@gmail.com, or you can go to Facebook and find my Sodbusters Metal Detecting Facebook group and send me a PM there. I'm always happy to help. I always answer the questions. So feel free to contact me, and good luck out there hunting, you guys. We'll see you on the next video.